Hello folks, welcome to the Old Classic Car channel. Today we're going to have a bit of a move around, but before I do any of that, just look at this. This was clean yesterday. It appears to have had the contents of the Sahara deposited upon it. I can only assume that the wind is coming up from that direction. We did have a bit of rain overnight. But look how dusty it is. Good grief. I think we'll have to get the sponge out later, or maybe tell Harley to get the sponge out a little bit later. I'm guessing that's the reason for the fine weather we're having. So, what's happening today? Well, firstly, there is a bit of an evening meeting taking place, so I would like to take the Renault, so I need to get that out, which requires moving the little pickup truck as well, so they need to come out, and also the Anglia needs to move as well, because someone is lined up to buy this. I have received a deposit for it, and it should be going in the next few days, sadly, but never mind, that's how it goes. So this needs to be accessible, so I think the plan probably will be to fire this up and put it in here, so that as and when a collection day is decided upon, it's nice and easy to get it out. I don't need to move anything else, so that's the plan for now, is to get the pickup out once I've moved the MX-5, get the pickup out, get the Renault out, move the Anglia out and bring it down here, and then the pickup in here and the Renault nearest the door, so we can go out in a little bit later on. At least that's the idea anyway. I'm trying to catch up a little bit on jobs in here because I have been a bit laid up of late. 2 big 12-volt batteries, I've had those on charge with the trusty charger, because I would like to fire up Big Dodge sometime soon as well, especially while the weather is as nice as it is at the moment, so it seems like a good opportunity to do that as well. But yeah, the priority really is to get the Anglia all readied to go to its new home. It'll be a shame to see it go, but once it does go, it will free us up to look for a replacement for this and the Morris that went just a couple of weeks ago. So it's not all bad news, just a bit of a change on the fleet, but it does need this to be accessible so that the gent who's buying it can actually get at it. But yeah, this one will go, and then something else will come along, but what will that be? At the moment, I don't quite know, but fingers crossed it'll be something interesting. Something with a little bit larger engine and a little bit more room inside. That's the plan anyway. And because I would like to go slightly further away, it may mean something from the motorway era of motoring. I would like to buy something from the 1950s, but the problem sometimes with 50s cars is the gearing can be a little bit on the low side. Even if the cars are quite big and roomy and they've got a decent sized engine, the gearing can just peg them back a little bit and make longer trips just a little bit harder work than maybe they need to be. So it could be something from the sort of late 50s, 1960s even, something like that, who knows. But I'm not sort of setting my sort of sights on any particular car at the moment. We'll just have to see what turns up, and what turns up on budget, more importantly. Anyway, that's for another day. But today, let's get these out of the way. And here's the other half of the Sahara. Right, let's get the Dodge out of the way. So start procedure, ignition on, battery has been reconnected, bit of choke, and the carburetor has what's called an accelerator pump. So you give it a couple of prods on the throttle down here, that puts a squirt of juice down into the carburetor, into the intake itself, just to help it catch. So ignition on, bit of choke, let's see what happens. Oof, promising. Don't think we can complain about that too much. Usually I'd have my youthful assistant to do this for me, but he's back at school now, so I can't record this and drive it out at the same time because I need to make sure we don't get too close over there, so best not drive into Ned the shed. That wouldn't win me too many brownie points. Right, next. So I've just reconnected the battery, and all I will do now is just prime up the fuel. It hasn't run for, I don't know, 2 weeks, something like that, maybe a little bit longer. So you've got like a priming lever, and you can basically pump the fuel up through this filter and into the carb, and when you see it going in there, you know that the fuel is on its way. There we go. I still need to fit this new dizzy cap sometime as well. Right, let's clamber in here. The pedals are really offset in this car. They're way down there, you probably can't see them. Right, so the choke is down here, because it's rear engine of course, so that will give it about half choke. Shouldn't need too much. Right, just remind myself where the pedals are. Definitely in neutral, yep. It's almost starting too quickly, that is. Too quick, and you run the risk of it firing up before the oil's fully got round, so maybe it's actually better not to prime the fuel up on the pump and just let it spin over a little bit when it hasn't run for a few weeks. But anyway, she's running now. Let's put it outside. Someone was asking what a telulog is the other day, so we'll have a closer look at that in just a moment when we get outside. Okay, so let's have a quick look at the telulog, just because someone asked about this the other day. It's magnetic, so obviously it'll stick onto any steel dashboard like this. And basically, it's a log. It allows you to record how many gallons of petrol you've bought, and also record how many miles you've done. Let's see if we can actually see what we're doing. So you can rotate the little thingy-majig at the top to record your petrol usage, how many gallons of fuel you've bought, and down here you can keep a log of the mileage you've covered. That's all it is. It's a very simple onboard computer, and with that you can go and grab your slide rule and figure out your MPG, your miles per gallon, how economical your old Renault in this case is. But this has been in lots of the cars that we've had. This has been in the Morris Minor, probably both the Standard 8 and the Standard 10 that I used to run years and years ago. So this has been in both of those. Possibly, no, it wouldn't have been in the Anglia, because for the simple reason it has a Bakelite dashboard, and magnetic things don't tend to work too well with a Bakelite dashboard. But it's certainly been in here, in the Volvos. I'm sure it's been in the Volvos. It's been around a long time, and yeah, it's just a nice little period car accessory. Right, talking of the Anglia, let's go and get that moved out. It appears we have a resident. This hasn't run for several months, I think, hence things starting to sort of accumulate in front of it, which will all have to be moved out of the way. I don't think there's anything down the side I need to worry about. But this big old lamp, which I talked about in a previous video, an old garage inspection lamp, that'll need moving out of the way. It'd be nice to get that rewired sometime. Yeah, I might have to look into doing that at some point in time, but for now, I've got this big old jack which needs to be out of the way. It's a bit leaky, this one, so again it's something else that needs just a little bit of fixing up. But that's for now. Just put it over there. We've got this lighting arrangement here. These are actually really good. That's plugged in up here, so I'll hoik that out of harm's way. Sorry if this is a little bit jiggly to watch. Put that there. Okay, and this is that big old lamp. Now you may not have seen a video about this one, but this is quite an ingenious old garage lamp, because not only is it a stand-up lamp, it's designed to lie on its back. If you look here, you've got a caster there, one caster there, and another one should be over there, and it's designed because this is all articulated, so you can move it around as you wish. It can actually go back over comme ça on its back, and because it's got the casters on, you can actually slide it under the car. So if you're working on the car, you can slide that underneath, and when you're finished, you lift it back up again, kick out this little leg down here, and Bob's your uncle. What does it actually say on there? The FEW multi-lamp model B. So yeah, that's quite a cool old thing. This was rescued out of a garage. The garage that if you remember the little E494A van, the little Ford that we used to have, that came out of a long out of use garage, and this was in there. So I managed to buy this at the same time, but as you can see, the wiring is a little bit second hand, so I don't think we'll risk plugging it in. This is just another inspection lamp, an old metal and wood inspection lamp. There's a maker's name on there actually, so that just lives on here for the time being. I can sit there. Yeah, wonder how many of those survive. Anyway, let's not get too distracted. Let's move this big old canvas print. This used to be in the house, but has since been replaced. I need to find somewhere to hang that up. It's quite large. And there we go. We can actually get at the Anglia now. This has got a priming lever on it as well, so we'll just keep doing that. That'll fill up the little Zenith carburetor. I can already hear it filling up the float chamber. There we go. That didn't take much. Okay, let's clamber on board. So that's an official spare parts list that I turned up only fairly recently actually, so that'll be going with it, along with the other paperwork, the original paperwork that survives for the car. Okay, we're in. Now, a bit of choke. One of the quirks of these is the ignition key turns anti-clockwise, i.e. make sure we're in neutral, 3-speed gearbox, and a pull starter. Who remembers those? Right. Let's see if she will go. Was there ever any doubt? That hasn't run for probably 2 months, maybe, something like that. That's a very sweet sounding engine. Right, once again, I'm flying solo today, so rather than risk hitting anything, I'll switch the camera off and then carry on once we're outside again. there we go, tucked away, ready to be collected in hopefully just a few days' time. I will be sorry to see this go, genuinely, because anyone who's followed the channel for any length of time will know I really like very original old cars, and they don't get much more original than this. But for reasons that I've covered in previous videos, I just need to sort of change things a little bit around here. But anyway, yeah, check out previous videos if you want to know a little bit more about that, but hopefully it'll be going to a very good home. All I need to do now is bring the truck and put it in here. Now it's not the easiest of things to see out of, especially when you're parking with just a couple of inches to spare down that side especially. So I think what I'll do is, it's probably lunchtime now, so I'll break for a bite to eat and I'll leave it out there until Harley gets back from school. Then he can back it in and I can watch him. That's how it seems to work best. I mean, there's plenty of room in here, but you know, you do need to watch the corners a little bit, so it's easier if I'm outside doing the spotting and he is in the cab doing the driving. And on battery terminal duty today, the spanner of the day, is this little Whitworth snail brand, hence the little snail just there. Yeah, another lovely old spanner being used as it should be, being put to its proper use on a car that was also made in England. We decided to take this one in the end.
Put her in the lunch today, so she went out with him for lunch.
Bodland had
He wants to join us on the London.
Nighttime driving, first time out in the dark.
Nice glow of the lamps, proper old lamps.
6-volt bulbs. None of your LEDs here.
Very cinematic.
What's that? What's he doing down there? And is he waiting for us? Is he dropping someone
No,
off?
but I think someone was getting in. Oh. Do the instruments not glow?
There's probably a separate switch somewhere for the gauges, but
I thought they might do that.
I don't know. They probably would do, but I don't know where the switch is for the instruments. So
You can't even see them. Look, it's just black down there.
we're not going to be speeding.
All the roads around here have got these lights on anyway, so we'll be alright.
This is the bumpy bit coming up.
picked a good line.
Yeah, it's not easy to see the bumps, that's the only problem.
It's better on the way back.
Yeah.
The other way, it's very bad. T something.
TC, I think.
Oh no, it's focusing on the glass. Oh well, there is an odd MG just outside there. Don't even know if it's focused because it's so dark.
Yeah, that's alright. Lovely 6-volt glow. Well, hello again folks, and several weeks have passed since the sale of the little 1952 Anglia was agreed, and hopefully today it will actually be collected, which will be a bittersweet moment. I'm kind of going to miss this one because it's such a great survivor car, but on the other hand it means we will be able to go and have a look for something else and free up a little bit of space in the garage to accommodate whatever else is going to come along. I'm not quite sure what we're going to go for yet. There are a few little ideas on the back burner on that particular score now that the Anglia should be going and the Morris already has gone. So yeah, let's just see what turns up. But the first thing is I'm just waiting to hear from the collection guy, who hopefully should be coming this morning to come and pick this up. But I've not heard anything as yet, so it's just a case of twiddling thumbs until such time as they get in touch or appear on the driveway. But the car's all ready. All the bits and bobs are in there, the paperwork and so on, so it's all ready to go. It's kind of a shame. If I had the space, I would probably hang on to it, because it is not unique, but rare within the world of the old side valve 4s, just to see one that is so original. There was quite an original Prefect down at Malvern the other weekend, and same colour as this in fact, so it was interesting to have a look at that one. They would have made great garage bedfellows, if you like, parked up together. They would have looked superb, but that's not going to happen. But yeah, anyway, this one should be going off to its new home this morning, and then we will see what will replace it later. A couple of days ago, in response to another video, someone asked for a bit of a fleet update. Well, there isn't really much to say. Obviously Little Dodge and Big Dodge are still here, and the Anglia will be going imminently. There's been a bit of a move around in here. The Renault is now down here, a little 4CV, or Renault 750 to give it its proper name. This one appears to be running okay now. We had a few little gremlins, as I've talked about in previous videos. I've just been cleaning up these little pedal car and pedal tractor, and the A40 has moved, so that was over here before. I've now moved that over here just to make it a little bit easier to get round both sides, as you can see, because that makes life a whole lot easier. And hopefully I'll keep nibbling away and sort of progressing this one in the background. I'll report when there is something substantial to actually report on. I've done a few bits and pieces. That seats, for example, the rear seat squab on the A40, it was all chewed to pieces. In fact, I'll just go and find the original seat and I'll just show you what I mean. This here is the original seat base, and what had happened, a mouse had made a nest under here, and then that had got damp, and the whole structure of the seat had rotted away. You can see where this should all be connected together here. Hope that sort of can be picked up, so as you can see it just all disintegrated. The whole structure of it was gone. So in the end I found another seat base, and I was able to take the original blue covering off my seat and stretch that over the new seat, or the replacement seat base, and there we go. It just needs a little bit of final tweaking, but that should do as a fine replacement, a rot-free replacement. Let's see if I can just tilt this up, see if I can show what I'm talking about. There we go. So that's all structurally sound and proper, and that will do very nicely, because I wanted to keep the original rear seat material even if the structure itself has been changed. But yeah, other than that, not much update. So yeah, so that's where things are at the moment. The Renault's over there, the E40's here, Standard's over there as usual. Yeah, and that's it at the moment. But like I say, hopefully there will be a replacement for the Morris and the Ford coming along before too long. I haven't quite decided what yet. Right, there we go, outside now. The collection guy is about 10 minutes away, I believe, so I thought I'd get all that ready to minimise time loading up at this end. It's a breezy day, and there has been a bit of rain around, but hopefully it'll stay dry during its trip back home. It's only going about 30 miles away. If it's dry when it leaves here, hopefully it'll still be dry when it gets to the other end. Just starting to rain. There we go, it's all loaded up, strapped down. So it seems a bit odd not having it around, but you know, onwards and upwards and on to the next thing. It's all strapped down, all looks pretty safe to me. Everything's nailed down, everything's attached. That's the main thing. What a cracking old car this is. Hopefully it'll go on to be looked after as I've tried to do, and my friend who I bought it off 2.5 years ago, as he looked after it as well, and the previous owner prior to him. So it's gone through the hands of several people over the last few years, all of whom really like this original oldie worldy look, and hopefully that will continue for many more years to come. Well, there we go, that's the Anglia gone, off to a new home. And there's a big gap in the garage now. What will we fill this with? Because I haven't quite decided on what to go for yet, but I'm taking my time, not going to rush into anything. But yeah, we will find something suitably old to fill this gap. Anyway, thanks very much for watching the video. I will talk about that a little bit more in a future video, so I think I'll sign off for now. Thanks so much for watching, bye for now. I think it's about 5 minutes to go until the road run starts, so we'll go and reconvene back at the car and wait for starters' orders.
So we've got 2 Series 1 Jags in front and 2 Frog Eyes behind.
Well, we've made it safely to the other end, at the end of the little road run, so it was all quite successful. Well, I'm glad we don't have to fill up every day. starter motor wouldn't play ball, but unfortunately it was just grubby contact in the starter motor switch. So we're heading off now. And let's see what eventually old lorries turn up for the Cheshire Run. Modern.
What?
Modern.
Ah, no, you can't have that on these lanes.
Should be reserved.
Yeah, only old cars only.
Pre-1970.
Yeah.